Darkness Falls on Highway 13. Written by R.L. Stein. Rain lashed against the windshield. Mira gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles white. The old Chevy sputtered, coughed, and finally died. "No, no, no!" Mira cried, pounding the dashboard. "Not tonight! Not on this road!" She pulled onto the shoulder as the engine ticked its final protest. Highway 13 stretched before her, slick and deserted. Lightning flashed, illuminating a dilapidated farmhouse in the distance. It was her only hope. Taking a deep breath, Mira grabbed her flashlight. The rain soaked her instantly. Each step toward the farmhouse felt heavier than the last. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. "Is anyone there?" Section 3. Shadows of the Farmhouse. The air inside was heavy, thick with dust and the smell of decay. Cobwebs draped the hallway like macabre decorations. Mira stepped inside cautiously, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The only sound was the wind whistling through a broken window pane. She shivered, pulling her jacket tighter around her. The flickering light beckoned from the top of the stairs. Slowly, she started her ascent. Each step creaked in protest, the sound amplified in the silence. Shadows danced on the walls, twisted shapes born of the storm and her imagination. Mira's heart pounded in her chest, a frantic drumbeat urging her to turn back. Section 4. A door creaks open. The upstairs hallway was shrouded in darkness, the single light source emanating from a room at the end. Mira approached cautiously, her hand trembling as she reached for the doorknob. It turned with a groan, revealing a dusty bedroom. A rocking chair creaked back and forth, seemingly propelled by an unseen hand. Goosebumps erupted on Mira's skin, despite the stifling heat. She stepped inside, her flashlight beam sweeping over the room. Dust-covered furniture and faded photographs painted a picture of a life long gone. But something felt wrong, like an unseen presence watched her every move. Section 5. Silence hangs heavy. The rocking chair slowed to a stop, its final creak echoing in the silence that followed. The air grew colder, sending a shiver down Mira's spine. She felt a presence in the room, something unseen and malevolent. Her eyes darted around the room, searching for the source of her unease. The old photographs seemed to stare back at her, their subject's eyes filled with a haunting sadness. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was intruding on something she didn't understand. A floorboard creaked behind her. Mira whirled around, her heart pounding in her chest. There was nothing there, but the feeling of being watched intensified, wrapping around her like a suffocating blanket. Section 6. Up the dusty staircase. Driven by a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity, Mira pressed on. The stairs groaned under her weight, each step taking her further into the heart of the unknown. The air grew heavy, thick with a palpable sense of dread. The flickering light led her to a narrow hallway, its walls adorned with faded portraits with eyes that seemed to follow her every move. The smell of mildew and decay intensified, filling her lungs with each breath. As she reached the end of the hallway, a cold draft sent shivers down her spine. The single light bulb flickered violently, casting grotesque shadows that danced and writhed on the walls. A sense of foreboding washed over her. Section 7. The Eyes in the Mirror. The light finally led her to a room at the end of the hallway. A tarnished silver mirror hung on the wall, reflecting a distorted image of the room and a figure standing in the doorway. A figure that was not her. This reflection was all wrong. A grotesque mockery of Mira, with eyes that glowed an eerie red and a cruel smile that stretched across its pale face. Mira gasped, stumbling back in horror. The reflection lunged toward her, its clawed hand reaching out from the mirror's surface. Mira screamed, throwing her hands up to protect herself, but the touch never came. Section 8. A chilling scream. Mira's scream echoed through the empty farmhouse, swallowed by the storm raging outside. She stumbled back, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. When she looked back at the mirror, it was empty. Only her own terrified reflection stared back. Had she imagined it? The oppressive atmosphere and the feeling of being watched told her otherwise. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. She had to get out of there. Turning to flee, Mira tripped over her own feet, her flashlight clattering to the floor. Darkness enveloped her, amplifying her terror. A scratching sound came from the corner of the room. Section 9. Vanished without a trace. The search party arrived at the farmhouse just as dawn began to break. They found Mira's car abandoned by the side of the road, her belongings still inside. But of the young woman herself, there was no sign. They combed the farmhouse from top to bottom, their calls of her name swallowed by the unsettling silence. The storm had passed, leaving behind an eerie calm that did little to settle their growing unease. The only evidence of Mira's presence was her dropped flashlight, its beam illuminating a patch of dust on the floor. It lay at the foot of the stairs leading to the attic, a place they hadn't yet searched. Section 10. Welcome home. As the last member of the search party stepped into the attic, a cold gust of wind slammed the door shut behind them. A single message, scrawled in what appeared to be dust on the attic floor, sent chills down their spines. Welcome home. The message was gone as quickly as it appeared, leaving behind only the echo of their fear and the unsettling feeling that they were not alone. Mira was gone, vanished without a trace. But the haunted farmhouse remained, a chilling testament to the night she disappeared.